What I'm about to tell you is one of the wildest stories ever documented. Like, this is the actual case that inspired The Exorcist. And trust me, the real story is way crazier than the movie. This whole thing goes down in 1949 in Cottage City, Maryland, where this totally normal 14-year-old kid who we now call Roland Doe, that's not his real name, by the way, the church changed it to protect his identity, is living his best life, playing baseball, getting decent grades, just regular teenage stuff. Now, Roland's got this aunt named Harriet, who's basically the family wild card. While everyone else is all proper and church growing, Aunt Harriet's out there doing seances and messing with Ouija boards, like not the Toys R Us kind. We're talking handmade spiritualist boards that people took super seriously back then. She'd let Roland play with it whenever she visited, which his parents weren't too happy about, but hey, what can you do about a cool aunt, right? But then Harriet catches pneumonia and dies super suddenly. And it hits Roland like a truck because she was the only one who really got him. His parents were good people, but super rigid, while Harriet actually listened to him and let him be himself. So Roland starts messing with her old Ouija board in his room every night, trying to connect with her spirit or whatever. And that's when things get absolutely insane. I mean, weird things started to happen in the house, like weird scratching sounds in his walls, loud enough to wake up the whole house. Then things starts disappearing from his room and showing up in completely random places, like his baseball glove vanishing from his bedroom and ending up in the kitchen sink. Roland actually kept a diary during all this, writing about this weird cold spot that would follow him around. Even in the middle of summer, there'd be this one ice cold area in whatever room he was in. Then the really crazy stuff starts. Roland's in bed one night when his entire bed starts shaking, like it's in an earthquake, but nothing else in the room is moving. His parents try moving Roland to different rooms, different beds, even his grandmother's house. Same thing happens everywhere. Then he starts getting these marks on his body, not just random scratches. We're talking actual words appearing on his skin. The first one straight up said hello across his chest, and then they started showing up in perfect Latin, which is wild because this kid was failing Spanish class. The family takes him to every doctor they can find. Blood tests, psychological evaluations, the whole 9 yards. But here's the thing, all the tests come back normal. Meanwhile, stuff's going crazy at the hospital too. Medical equipment's flying across rooms, lights are exploding. And get this, one nurse straight up quit after she saw Roland's bed lift completely off the ground while she was trying to take his blood pressure. Also, everything I'm telling you is documented by multiple sources and witnesses. This isn't just some spooky story I made up on my own. All right, so after all the doctors are like, yeah, we got nothing, Roland's parents go to their Lutheran pastor, Schultz. Now, Pastor Schultz was super skeptical at first about supernatural stuff, but what he saw that night had him shook. He literally watched a heavy dresser slide across the floor by itself and saw those marks appearing on Roland's skin in real time. Schultz was like, nah, this is way above my pay grade, and told his parents, his voice low and trembling, that he believed Roland might be possessed by some demonic spirit, and told them to hit up the Catholic Church. So they bring in Father Hughes at Georgetown University Hospital for the first exorcism, and holy shit does it go wrong. Roland's strapped down with these heavy-duty hospital restraints, right? But this skinny teenager somehow breaks free, rips out a metal spring from the bed, and slashes Hughes from shoulder to wrist. Cut was so clean, the doctor said it looked surgical. Hughes needed like 100 stitches and had to tap out of the whole thing. That's when they move Roland to the Alexian Brothers Hospital in St. Louis, where Fathers Boder and Halloran take over. And everything that goes down there is actually documented because the Jesuits kept detailed records. Now back to the story. Roland's throwing grown men across rooms, breaking priests' noses with physically impossible kicks, and speaking perfect Latin and ancient Hebrew, which language experts later confirmed was legit ancient dialect stuff. Most modern scholars don't even know. But the craziest part? Roland would somehow know everyone's deep, dark secrets. He'd call out priests for sins nobody else knew about, something that wasn't public knowledge at all. The marks kept appearing on his skin too, and doctors confirmed there was no way he could have done it himself. March 18th, 1949. This is when the most insane thing happens. 9 different witnesses, including doctors and nurses, watched Roland's bed straight up levitate off the ground. When the priest tried pushing it down, it started shaking so hard it broke one of the metal legs. All these people signed sworn statements about what they saw. The final exorcism goes down after 30 brutal days of this nightmare where more than 20 priests had to tap out because it was too intense. But Father Bowdern, he's still there leading the whole thing, along with Father Halloran and 3 other priests who stuck it out till the end. The temperature in the room drops so low they can see their breath, and the bed is literally slamming against the walls with Roland strapped to it. Bowdern's been praying non-stop for like 4 hours at this point, and he's actually bleeding from where Roland scratched him earlier. Then suddenly, Roland's body arches backward in this impossible way, lets out this inhuman scream that Halloran said wasn't even close to human. And remember, this is all documented by multiple people who were there. And then just like that, Roland drops back to the bed, opens his eyes, and in his completely normal teenage voice says, he's gone. The room instantly goes back to normal temperature. Roland's looking around confused like he just woke up from a nap with no memory of anything. And that was it. No more weird stuff, no more marks, no more voices, nothing. Just a normal kid again, like the last 30 days never even happened. Here's the wild part though. Roland went on to live a totally normal life after this, like completely normal. Some researchers claim they've figured out his real identity, and apparently he's got no memory of anything that happened. The Catholic Church still has all the documentation, photos, and medical records locked away in their archives, and even the skeptical witnesses who were there still say they can't explain what they saw. So was it really possession? Mental illness? Some kind of mass hysteria? We'll probably never know for sure, but one thing's certain, something absolutely insane went down in 1949, and it was crazy enough to inspire one of the scariest horror movies ever made. Oh, and those priests who performed the exorcism, they never did another one again. Makes you wonder what else they saw that didn't make it into the official records, right?